So we've just taken delivery of our brand new Mark 8 Golf R. This car's been purchased for R&D for Vizu, so we can develop a range of products, hardware upgrades and tuning packages for our customers. Now the first thing to do with any project vehicle is to check the vehicle's in good condition. It's brand new, should be. We'll run a diagnostic on it, check all the fluids, get a strap down onto the dyno and baseline the car so we can see what power output it's currently producing. During this process, we're also going to data log the car intensively so we can see all of the various parameters that the ECU is recording and all the signals it's sending out to its actuators and controllers to control that standard engine. This way we get a rounded picture of what the vehicle is doing to start with before we start to develop hardware and software upgrades for this platform. Well, that's a little bit surprising. Now, with most modern cars, we're starting to see some of the power figures actually achieve a little bit more than factory quotes in some cases. This hot hatch Mark 8 Golf R is no exception to that. It's quoted at about 320 to 328 horsepower from the factory, depending on the specification of the model. We've actually just ran 373 horsepower reliably and repeatedly over several runs on the dyno. So this is a great platform to start with. It's currently got a lot of power beyond what the factory is quoting, and it should be a good platform for us to develop a number of products and software upgrades for our customers. The Mark 8 Golf R is a pretty striking car to start with, but with so many variations of Golf with GTIs and GTDs out there, you want to make your Golf R stand out from the crowd even further. So what better way to complement any tuning, hardware or software upgrades you're going to make to your car than to style it out with some wonderful carbon fibre. With our front splitter, carbon fibre side skirts and a stunning carbon fibre rear diffuser. It really transforms the outside look of this vehicle and makes it stand out from the crowd from any other Golf Rs or any other Golf R wannabes out there. In the engine bay, we've also got some dress up in there with our carbon fibre engine cover that complements our carbon fibre cold air induction kit. With the standard intercooler setup on this car, the intercooler is actually mounted further back than on older style turbo engines. You may be familiar with the concept of a front mount intercooler, a big uprated intercooler sitting just behind the grille of the bumper. Well, in this particular model, because it sits further back behind some of the other standard radiators on the vehicle, we really had to think outside the box to try and optimise the cooling and efficiency of that intercooler. Now, by changing the intercooler for our uprated, higher flowing and better cooling unit, what it's allowed us to do is maintain those cool standard operating temperatures that we're looking for to get the maximum performance safely from the vehicle for as long as possible. As soon as heat stroke starts to build into a vehicle, that's when the intercooler gets hot and it can't cool as efficiently, the ECU will automatically start to back the power down. With our uprated improved intercooler, the higher flow and better cooling effect of it means that we have more power for longer before any of that heat starts to build up into the vehicle. Again, this just builds a very strong platform to push for those higher figures safely and reliably on this engine. So our carbon fibre air intake kit or induction kit has been installed on this Mark 8 Golf R to help improve our airflow. Now the standard system on the vehicle is great, but with the carbon fibre and free-flowing system that we've got here, it just helps improve the throttle response, which helps us get that airflow and pickup from the engine as low down as we can to achieve those nice big figures that we're looking for at the top end. Anything we can do to improve the breathing of the engine to get the air in smoother, faster and as cold as possible is going to help that combustion process. So this nice big carbon fibre intake moving to our filter that's enclosed in this nice heat protective enclosure. It just gives us as much opportunity and as much potential as possible to get the best combustion we can with the coldest air possible with a nice smooth flow of air. With the additional performance and power and torque that we're going to be putting through this vehicle with the Katana Fire package, it's important that we also look at the handling of the vehicle as well. Now this Golf R Mark 8 hot hatch handles pretty well to start with out of the factory. However, with the extra power and torque, we can always improve the handling to deal with that delivery a little bit better. So what we've opted for is the 25mm front lowering springs and 20mm rear lowering springs, just to drop the centre of gravity slightly on the vehicle to make it a little bit more stable when this four-wheel drivetrain tries to deliver that extra power and torque from the Katana Fire package. By lowering the centre of gravity, we have a more stable platform for the extra power and torque from the Katana Fire package. What does this translate to on the road though? Well, it means we've got better traction, more stable through the corners. When you press the throttle and start to deliver that extra power and torque, there's less body roll front to back on the vehicle, and it just means this four-wheel drive system can put the power down more evenly and more consistently when you're driving. When you're in comfort mode, driving the car normally, you don't really notice any difference in the drivetrain itself. It still drives that nice, comfortable mode, but if you do depress the accelerator a little bit firmly, you'll notice there's less roll in the body, so the car is able to deliver that power and torque better to the road surface. With the Katana Fire package, it's important that we look at the exhaust side of the engine as well as the intake side. Now, we've already covered the upgrades that we're doing to the intake side with our carbon cold air induction kit that's going to get more air into the engine, cooler, colder, denser air, allowing us with our software changes to get a better combustion, generating more boost and ultimately more exhaust gas through there. So with the extra power and torque we've created, it's important that we can flow that gas out of the engine as effectively as we can bring the fresh air in. That's where our 3-inch catback exhaust system comes in. So starting from the cat, we're running all the way to the back of the car with our high flow 3-inch system. This allows for a better, more optimised flow of the exhaust gas, allowing those pulses to maintain their speed all the way to the back of the car. Now, whilst this helps performance, it also has a wonderful added benefit of improving the sound quality of the system as well. With our valve-controlled exhaust system, maintaining that quad exit style back box with our carbon fibre tips, you're still in control of the sound through the in-car controls. So in comfort mode, you've got the normal sort of sedate exhaust sound, all the way through to your R and Nürburg mode, where you've got a little bit of factory overrun. The exhaust valves open and give you a crisper, more sharper sound to the exhaust notes out of the back of the car. So now we've got the vehicle baselined and we've collected all of our original data logs. We can see what the vehicle's doing in terms of boost, timing and fueling, and a number of other important parameters in the engine. The guys have fitted all of the hardware modifications to the vehicle as well now, so now it's time to get back on the dyno with the laptop, data log the vehicle and start making changes to the ECU software. The Mark 8 Golf R comes equipped with a CMOS 19 ECU. This builds upon the CMOS 18 of the previous generation and has a lot of similarities in terms of the map structure and the strategies employed by the ECU. However, we have to dig into the strategies within this ECU and unlock the potential of the engine while still retaining its normal day-to-day drivability and operating within its safe mechanical limitations. The trick with this ECU is to not push some of the parameters too high. In terms of turbo pressure, we've got a lot of boost to work with to start with. It's actually about optimizing the torque to keep that boost for as long as we can in the RPM, to get as much power as we can safely and reliably through this engine. With the changes we're making to this ECU, our target is going to be approximately 500 Newton meters of torque. This is well within the limits of the actual engine itself. As we can see, hidden in the software, there's some soft and harder limits set at higher values, 550 Newton meters and above. In this case, with the changes we've made to the fueling, timing, boost, torque, maps and structures, we're looking at approximately 490 to about 500 Newton meters of torque from the vehicle when we complete the final dyno runs. We'll get this uploaded to the ECU and then we'll start testing. That's absolutely fantastic results. With our Katana Fire package installed, that's the hardware modifications and the software to match, our MK8 Golf R has actually just delivered 444 horsepower at the crank. We were aiming for about 500 Newton meters, and this car, as we knew from stock, was already running pretty strong. We've actually put out 396 foot-pounds of torque, which is just over 530 Newton meters. Absolute sweet spot for this engine and powertrain. As we mentioned in our earlier comments, the engine is actually rated easily to 550 Newton meters in the software, so we're running within the limitations of the engine. Super smooth and progressive tuning on there, and it pulls all the way to the gear shift at the maximum RPM. So there's no drop off in power in this engine, it pulls all the way through. A really fantastic result and a very, very, very quick hot hatch car.